Hello everybody, as I promised you, this is Family Guy's scariest episodes. Let's begin. So, the first episode that I will actually be talking about is an episode named Petergeist. Let's get into the episode. This episode starts with Peter watching TV until Cleveland knocks at the door. And Cleveland tells him that the movie night has been moved to Joe's place. Something that Peter doesn't seem so happy about. But when getting there, it seems that Joe has a whole salon. Damn, it's actually pretty cool. But apparently Peter doesn't think so, because he can't stop telling everybody how bad this is, but to his surprise he actually tells Joe. When they sit down to watch the movie, we can actually see Joe's studios. I feel like that's stolen. Everybody seems to have been satisfied with the movie night, but not Peter. He can't stop talking about how cool Joe's cinema is and that he will build one better. I really do hope it's not that bad since that time he built a balcony. And why is the balcony inside of the house? But the Griffins decide to go to their local home supply to get some materials for a new home cinema. After coming in, Peter decides to give the worker a very specific description.
Help you? Yeah, I hate my neighbor and I want to build something crazy out of spite. Well, I'll take you to our one-up.
Maybe a little too specific, Peter. But I mean, at least he didn't buy a gay mailbox.
Oh, hello, right here. Yeah, just right here. Just go ahead and put that right here.
When they get home, they immediately start building on their home cinema. But when they start to dig, Peter finds something very unusual. It seems to be like an Indian skull from ancient times. The smart dog Brian advised Peter to put it away or put it back where he found it. But of course, Peter doesn't listen, he starts playing around with it. And he even goes that far to bring it to the dinner table. Well, this is weird. Once again, Brian advises Peter to put it back where he found it. But as you guessed, Peter doesn't listen at all. Later in the evening, Peter thinks it's a good idea when they're in bed to pee in the skull because he doesn't have the courage to go to the bathroom. Well, talk about being lazy, Peter. After, when Lewis and Peter are asleep, Stu wakes up and makes his way to their room. After positioning himself in front of the TV and start talking to it, this weird sap almost saps Peter and Lewis, of course immediately waking them up. The next day, when Lewis is preparing for dinner, the weirdest thing happens. When she puts all the chairs at their spots, Brian comes talking to her about a poltergeist, but she doesn't believe him. When they look back at the chairs, all of them are standing on the table. Maybe there is a poltergeist in the house. Later in the night, Stu wakes up once again and he's terrified this time. But it's okay, just imagine that you're on MTV's Jackass, it will always fix the problem, right? But not that problem, because later Stewie gets sucked into the wardrobe and that's the last we see of Stewie, I guess. And we can always see that everybody in the family gets some kind of nightmare. Peter gets this weird skin falling of nightmare. And Chris gets this weird nightmare that he got kidnapped by a tree. And apparently Herbert is in his nightmare. God damn, Herbert is even in his dreams. After Louise arrives to Stewie's room, she can see the big mess and Stewie's all gone. Peter says that they should call in an exorcist or something, but at that moment they hear Stewie's voice from the TV. I knew there was something with the TV. After some while, the exorcist finally arrives and he tells them that they might have a poltergeist in their house, and he also tells them that they need somewhere to the poltergeist to come out of, and of every place that they could have they chose Meg's butt. So after a while of playing around with Meg's, after a while with throwing stuff in the wardrobe and coming out of, so after that, Louis decides to do the only grown-up decision and go in and help Stewie. And she makes it, she finally gets Stewie, but not without some consequences. Now all the spirits or ghosts are free in the house. After getting in the car and contemplating to leave Meg inside, they finally decide to go. And Peter decides to dump the skull in the nearest trash bin. On their way, they try to ask Quagmire for some help, but he has some questionable activity inside, to say the least. No other place to go to, they decide to go to the Quahog Soup Kitchen and order some paper pizza. What a good meal. After that, they decide to go to the library to get a book on how to remove poltergeists from their home. After realizing they need a skull back and Peter throwing that out, they need to go to the trash or the city dump. Whilst everybody else is searching, Brian is having a little bit too fun with the trash. After not finding anything, they find a garbage man that tells them that there may be a garbage collector, a ginger guy, I'm ginger by the way, that has their skull. And that guy just happens to live in the nicest mansion ever. Damn, that's a nice mansion. After opening the doors and seeing a questionable throne, Peter asks him for the skull. And somehow this turns into like a horror movie chasing scene. with Peter trying to find him with all these mirrors, but unlucky for him, he falls into this very obvious trapdoor. But Peter comes back and now he has a seesaw. Get it? Seesaw? Even Peter thinks it's funny. After returning home, they put back the skull and the house is finally back at its original place. But wait, this isn't the end of the video. Just because I have gained so much traction in the last days, I will actually surprise you guys with another scary Family Guy episode, this one named Paranormal Activity. The episode starts with the Griffins and his friends watching a scary movie or a horror movie, and Peter Griffin gets the brilliant idea that they should make their own. At home, Brian has seemed to find some new glasses, but Stu doesn't like him, but he does look smart, right? After a very long time of Brian thinking if he should eat pancakes or pancakes, it cuts to Meg. And I don't really want to know what they said this time. After that, we can see Peter and his friends sitting at the local pub scrambling for ideas for the new horror movie. At that exact time, Quagmire has a brilliant idea that they should go to an abandoned asylum to get the vibe of a horror movie. After arriving and damn, this looks really scary, they go inside. After finding a very scary room, they decide to scramble up some horror movie ideas. Peter's idea is about a couple that gets killed by a crazy werewolf. A good idea, I guess. But personally, I actually like the Cleveland's idea the most. His idea is about being abandoned in a blood-spattered hospital, and the feeling that something is abandoned and old and just being alone in it is scary enough, so this one gotta take the cake for me. But I guess the only scary thing for Cleveland is that the lamp doesn't work. And I guess that Quagmire is just scared of soaps or something, because Quagmire's idea of a horror movie is about every single one in the friend group getting killed by a bar of soap. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm not scared of soap. Later, when they try to leave the scary asylum, they figure out that they are locked inside and there is no way out. At the same time, Brian and Stewie is actually at a very nice cafe, and of course Brian is wearing the glasses to look smarter. And Stewie is really annoyed at the glasses at this point. And of course Brian had to smother it in and show his skills to talking to women whilst he is swinging the glasses. Back to the asylum, Peter and his family is trying to find a way out, but then they find a really scary man with a hook at his arm. They first try to run from the fear, but then Peter realizes that they are more than him is, so they try to fight him and it ends up they beating up a USA veteran. After killing him, they decide to bury him. I mean, that's the only right thing to do, right? But what will they do about his car? Just bury that too, and make sure it's dead, because why not? Cut back to home, Peter gets really paranoid about the things he's done, but to his point, Louis is bringing up some really exciting points. I mean, they are very similar, or we are just seeing the perspective from Peter's head. Could be both.
Peter, I'm glad you're up. I need to talk to you about something. I know what you did last night.
But it doesn't end there. She brings up some really questionable points. Just look at this.
You and the guys killed and buried a man?
Yeah, I knew you'd find out.
Found a body of a war hero down by the old asylum.
Okay, that has to be something.
At this point, I really think Peter is schizoing or something, because that's just too specific to be an accident. But after that, Peter is schiz too much, so he tries to go there and frame Quagmire. But to his surprise, all of his friends are there and they try to frame each other. So how will this end? So they try to kill each other. What a good way to solve it, right? But then Peter realizes that they have the perfect movie idea there. 4 friends that killed someone and tries to frame themselves for it, and the movie ends, or the episode ends with they finally getting a movie, and it's a banger. But they look kinda weird, but it's good. But the episode ends with them finding out that the man he killed is he's a leader for something, and he's finally killed. What a relief. And that's the end of the episode, but also the end of the video. Thanks for watching, I hope you have a great day, and thanks for the support, it means so much to me. I really do enjoy every single one of you, and the support has been great the last days. Please watch this video, have fun, and happy Halloween in the time early. Yeah, I know, but happy Halloween, have a great day, and thanks for the support. I'm sorry if this video is a little bit late, I'm truly sorry. Thanks, and bye guys.